Hi, I'm Andrew Simpson with Ether Automation, and in this video, I'm going to show you how to set up a order receiving system in Zoho Creator as an extension to the ERP drop shipping system we've built in the past few videos. Now, if you watch my past couple of videos, we set up the orders, creating purchase orders. We set up a system to create the work orders. Now we're going to create something to generate the items or the inventory items based on orders being received. And then in the next video, I'm going to show you how to keep those items, the inventory amount in check with various automations. So let me start by sharing my screen. And hopefully this is the right screen. Otherwise, this will be a short video. So before this video, I made a couple of things. So I have this order receives record right now, which I can link to a purchase order, as well as I can have some items received, right? And that's basically just an inventory transaction, right? Which is the transaction type, the materials, the products, and then the quantity. So there's two things we're going to do here. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to set up a little button up here that's going to open up the order receives form with all the information in this purchase order being added to that order received. And then the next thing, there's actually, it's just that, but there's two scripts. So let's go ahead and get started here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to edit this application. And I am going to make a workflow. And the workflow I'm going to create, I'm actually not going to start with the button. I'm going to start with the script that pulls in the data from the purchase order into the order received. So let's go on create and let's go on load of the form, bring in, maybe workflow, bring in items to received. There we go. Now, in my previous few videos, I talked about how you should be doing a lot of these things in standalone functions. We're actually not going to do it as a standalone function this time because we're putting so much into forms. We're basically pre-filling a form. All right, so let's start with some architecture. Get the related PO. Get the products and materials in the PO. And then finally, put those products and materials in the order received as line items. Make sense? Very straightforward. So let's start with this one right here. First thing we're going to do is we're going to get a PO equals purchase orders equals ID inputs dots, and then we want to look at, oh, I'm putting this in the wrong sections. Let me just copy this, cancel, close, done. New work order, not for orders. This is for orders received. Great, and then load of the form. Input items. Now let's hopefully I copied this correctly. There we go. So input dots purchase order. Done. So this is going to give us our purchase order. I actually might want to change this from PO to purchase order, right? And if I go to my refer fields, I can go to my purchase orders, right? And so now we have all these products. So let's go ahead and add them. So if you remember from our previous video, we have some interesting architecture around the products. All right, so if I go to view this application and go to a product like a drink, the product has a couple of materials. All right, so if this is just a bottle or just one thing, there are no product materials, but we will want to adjust the associated material, right? So let's go ahead and do that. So we're going to go for each record, and the purchase order dot line items, line item. What we want to do is we want to have a list for materials. List equals list, and let me spell that correctly. And a product list equals list. Okay, so then for each one of those, we're going to check to see if there is a material. Let's make one more. If there is a material, add it to the list. Now I'm going to pause the recording here, and I'm going to explain why after. Okay, so I paused it because the way subforms work in Zoho Creator, right, when you're dynamically updating a subform, it's a little weird. So the way it works is we do this. We'll call it row data equals, and then we want to look at equals order received dot items received. So we define the row data, or that there is a row data. Now I've actually put that in the wrong spot. Let me put that right here. So we do that for each line, right? The other thing we want to do is we want to define a collection. So we'll call this a received collection equals collection, right? And at the end of that row data, we actually want to add it into the collection. So we'll go received collection dot insert, and we want to put the row data in there, right? So now this loop here, all we need to do is add the logic for the transaction type, the products, the materials, and the quantity, right? And then finally at the bottom here, we can say input dot items received dot insert, and we can put in the received collection right there, right? So now we just need to have the logic to put data in. So let's go row data dot transaction type equals, and that will always be the same, right? If I go to a order received, when we're receiving an order, that was always going to be purchased received. Right? Real simple. Next thing we want to do is do the materials, the products, and the quantity. Now, we know that the products, data.products equals the line item dot products. That one's real simple, right? And we can even go far enough to say that the row data dot quantity, and we could just pre-fill this, is the line item.quantity, right? But finally, we need to check to see if this product is also a material, right? So how are we going to do that? Well, we go to the materials. I click edit. We have the product, the related product. So we can search. So potential material equals materials where the product, let me go to materials, where the products equals the line item, and let's actually make this a little bit easier. Product equals products where the if I could type, where the ID equals the line item dot product, and now we can get the product name dot product name. So if product materials does not equal null, then we want to go row data dot materials equals potential material dot ID. All right, and we can update that. There we go, we can update that. So now, as long as we load the form with the purchase order in there, it should work, right? So I'm going to click update. There we go. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to a purchase order and I'm going to get an ID. Let's open one of them up. So let's use this ID. And you might not know this trick. Purchase underscore order equals. There you go. So it automatically pulls in the information, right? But you don't want to type that in each time. So let's go ahead and add a button to the purchase orders. So I'm going to go right here. And if I click detail view, I am going to add a button. Receive PO. I'm going to create your own. So first thing we want to do is we want to assemble the URL we're going to open. If I go back here, you could copy everything here, but what I'm actually going to show you is this little trick right here. I'm going to highlight just this section. All right, so URL equals, right? So this here, it's a form. Zoho Creator has this wonderful ability. Let me move my camera there. Has this wonderful ability to dynamically allow you to link to certain reports, forms, or pages, even if you change the domain of your Creator app, right? And so all I'm doing right here is I'm saying it's this form, and then I'm going to say a purchase order, and I'm going to add the input.id, and then I'm going to go open URL is the URL in the same window and click save. Now, I click create. Now, if I go back to purchase orders and I can open one of them up, I might need to refresh. Oh, there we go. I can click receive PO and it pre-populates everything, right? Now that actually doesn't go into the inventory transactions, until I click submit. So let me just show you that now. There's no inventory transactions. We go to all POs. Let's grab this first one. Receive PO. I could change this. We only received 50 of them. Click submit. All right. And now if I go to my inventory transactions, you'll see here are the two. So in the next video, what we can do is we can automate the inventory count based on new inventory transactions, whether it's received, whether it's sold, whether it's been burnt or stolen or whatever. We can track all that inside Zoho Creator for a more precise and dynamic ERP system. If you found this video helpful, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next video.